Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Premier Perspective. Today we are doing a quick match week 14 recap. There were 10 Premier League games, some really interesting scorelines, so we're excited to speak to you about this. First we have um, Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. This was a
Blew 'em out. Blew 'em out.
crazy game. Not really much to it though, considering the fact that Liverpool played great. Palace was just pretty subpar. They had chances, but they never really looked like they wanted to score.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really say that you look like you wanted to score when you lose 7-0, but Liverpool, they just played how Liverpool do. They're kinda back to it. They didn't look like they were missing too many people or their regular starting lineup, but, they played great. Palace didn't, and, that showed. Not much to it.
Yeah, there's really not much to say about it besides saying that Liverpool played amazing. Um, this Liverpool team is really putting themselves together. There are a lot of question marks with some injuries, losing Van Dijk, but I feel like this Liverpool squad has so much to them that they'll be able to be fine even without him. Next, we have Manchester City versus Southampton. A very well played game, pretty even match from what most of what I
It
saw.
was a really even match, yeah.
Yeah,
Really.
City got a nice goal. Really nice to see City score like a nice team goal, like how we used to see all the time. Not so much anymore. Nice little overlap. De Bruyne to Sterling. Sterling with a nice finish. Um, it looked like City was doing better attacking wise, considering like the flow of play and everything. But obviously, they still need to work on making more of their chances because they only scored once. So
Yeah, but definitely more willing to shoot with 11 shots, 5 on target. Usually those games finish like City will have like 15 shots and like 2 on target, which is ridiculous. There's no reason for that, but um, they were a lot better this time, and they played as a team the whole game. They stayed together. They didn't break apart or try to do something that City isn't used to doing. And against Southampton, Southampton's a good team. They're probably what top 6, top 5, 6 right now. So yeah, it was a good game.
yeah, 100%. Like this is the way City play. Like that's how they need to be playing on a more consistent
Consistent.
basis. We don't really know how much we're gonna see of it in the future, but hopefully, with all these games that are coming up in this short period of time, that we see more of this type of City. Next, we have Everton versus Arsenal. Arsenal, pretty much, you could say the story of the Premier League this year, but on a negative basis.
Yeah.
Um, Arsenal failed to score from open play once again. Their one goal coming from a penalty. Everton didn't really look too great, but were definitely more solid than Arsenal. And now with this loss, it's still going on. This failure to win a Premier League game. Now, last time was November 1st against Man United, which is crazy to think that of all the teams that they've played in recent weeks, that United was the one that they beat.
Right, exactly, like, you kinda look at that. It
Yeah,
really doesn't. Yeah, and I think they play City today, EFL Cup, um, and Arsenal right now, for them, they're looking at relegation battle because with Burnley's win, which we'll get
yeah,
to
Burnley's win.
later in this, they have a game in hand, and Arsenal's on 14 with Burnley on 13. If Burnley even either tie or win their next game, I have to look at the point differential, but or the goal differential, Arsenal could be 17th with Fulham right behind them, which is
Yeah,
really considering Fulham's form lately, playing really well. So that's something they need to be careful of, and it's time to get Arteta out of there.
yeah,
There's
I
a
think so too.
before they just need to get him out because losing games, they don't score from open play. They're really close to, they're dangerously close to relegation. I don't know what they're waiting for. That's a mistake on their part.
Yeah, I agree too. As much as I respect Arteta as a manager, and I appreciate what he did as an assistant for City, it's pretty clear that despite the tactical ability that he may have, he just doesn't have the players for it at
Yeah,
Arsenal,
they're just not carrying it
and he
out.
doesn't have the willingness. of the players to contribute to the system that he's trying to build there. So it doesn't really seem like it's working out. Now it's like a really difficult period with all these games coming up. They have City during the week in the EFL Cup. I'm not sure who they play next weekend, but I'm pretty sure it's like not an easy game.
Right. Yeah.
So it's
It'll
gonna
probably be
continue
that
for
way.
them if they don't change something.
Yeah, for sure. It's just something they need to be careful of.
Yeah.
They're
So we'll
really
see how Arsenal continue in their upcoming games. But next we have Newcastle versus Fulham. Both played well played by both teams, but neither of them really seemed to have that finishing touch to take the game to the final point. Fulham now picked up 3 draws in a row. Um, for a team like Fulham, I actually take this as a positive
yeah, for sure. I
because
agree.
they're picking up points.
And they're
So
playing well. It's not like they're just scrapping
yeah,
out draw not deserving it. Like they're playing really well.
100%. Fulham has improved their play so far this season. It really seems like they're more of like a unit. I feel like with what I see from Fulham that I don't see from a lot of the other teams that are in the bottom half is that they really seem like they play their system and they're sticking to it.
I agree.
There never
I agree.
seems to be like a lack of motivation on the field. Like they've been playing, uh, they've not, I wouldn't say well, but they have been playing better. And
Yeah, they're playing that's important.
Newcastle is just, I feel like it's always just going to be that mid table team. Like you never really know what you're going to get from them. And I feel like that's always going to be their role in the Premier League.
Yeah, I
Never
agree with
really,
that. Even though
I don't,
Colin Wilson there 8
mhm.
goals in the season, which is great. It's probably just a couple goals off from the highest count, which is probably about 12 at this point.
Yeah, I
But
think it's something around that. I'm not sure the exact number. But yeah, Newcastle, um, they really haven't shown anything special this year. I don't really think they'll have to deal with relegation.
no, I don't think
But I
so.
don't really think they'll deal with qualifying for Europe either. So I feel like they're just going to be floating around the middle for the rest of the season. But that's how it usually is for them. And for our next game that we're looking at, we have Brighton versus Sheffield. Um, honestly, probably one of Sheffield's better performances this year.
Yeah,
They're
for sure.
able to pick up their second point of the season. They were down a man for 50 minutes of the game, so they really took advantage of getting a point here. Both had opportunities. I feel like Brighton should have won this game. I what was when I was watching this game, I was watching the last 5 minutes, and Brighton had so many chances.
Yeah, no, and that kind of shows. I'm used to hear like both team, but especially Brighton, knowing that they can finish and that they can score goals against good teams, and Sheffield not being a very good team at all this year. They need to be more clinical, and that's the problem with all these bottom half teams. You see this like the scoring of the games, like each game, win or lose, they'll score at most 2 on the off day 3 goals. But usually it's a 1-1, like here, 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, and it's because they can't finish chances. And then you see other teams like the Liverpools and Tottenham, and yeah, and United that can put away multiple goals a game because they take their chances. The stats show that they have just about, if you compare the stats of both the games of a 1-1 game and United's 6-2 game, if I had to guess, just throwing it out there, the stats would probably be similar, the shots and shots on goal.
Mhm,
But well, not the shots on goal. The shots would be similar. Shots on goal, they might be there,
mhm,
but they're
yeah,
not good. Like they're not any that have a chance of
the
going.
amount of shots taken probably.
Yeah,
So yeah, them pretty much. I feel like this was a more of a downfall for Brighton in terms of this game. At the end, I know Welbeck had a chance that was cleared off the line. Mapai was right in front of the goal and didn't and hit the crossbar with the header. So I feel like this should have been Brian's game, but props to Sheffield for picking up another point. They did look better, so the direction that they're heading in seems to be good. Now, will they be able to stay up this year? I don't think so, but you never know with the Premier League, anything could happen. And next we have Leicester versus Tottenham,
it's a big one.
which was originally going to be our match day review, but there was a lot of good games this week, so we want to do all of them. Leicester, Tottenham. I don't know. I felt like Tottenham. I would say that this is probably Tottenham's worst game
Yeah,
of the
for sure.
season.
They didn't play. They played very bad, very bad.
Even with Liverpool that they lost, they had their chances. Like
Yeah,
there
they
weren't
played,
many of
they played
them.
well that game. Even though they played, like they didn't look like they even really wanted to score in this
Yeah,
game. Like it was
100%.
Leicester the whole time pressing them.
Yeah, it seems like Leicester wanted it more, and I feel like that was the issue with Tottenham this game, is that they really didn't seem to be up for it. Even Sung and Kane like didn't really get too much distribution as they usually do, and then they really didn't take any opportunities. Mourinho's like park the bus counter-attacking football was pretty much no good for the way Leicester was set up because Leicester always has consistent and constant energy throughout the whole match. So it really didn't work out for Tottenham this game.
Not at all.
Yeah, and Leicester attacking wise really wasn't anything crazy. It was a penalty and own goal.
But they
So
pressed.
this,
They deserved the
yeah,
win. They pressed them the whole time. They had some really good shots. They had their chances, and just the way they pressed them, the way they had that high energy for the full game. Tottenham didn't even look like they had a chance at the game. You could tell by the way Leicester was playing that they were going to win this game.
yeah, I agree with you. I was expecting more from this game. I thought it was gonna be more of an even match. So it didn't really live up to the expectations that I was thinking. But Leicester were able to grab points. I believe they're third in the league right now.
Oh yeah, I think they
Yeah,
yeah second or third right
second, third. No, actually second, I think, after beating Tottenham.
now. Yeah,
Not too sure, but I'm pretty sure second. And I mean, hey, I think they're taking advantage of the moments that they have, and they have the capability of doing something serious or staying in the Champions League, Europa League picture if they continue in the form that they're in right now. And for our next game, we have Manchester United versus Leeds United, which is pretty much, I would say, the outstanding performance of the weekend. United looked dangerous going forward, constant energy throughout. I think that this performance shows the potential that United has to the team. I think what is the question from here on out is whether they're going to continue to stay on this form. The big thing was Scott McTominay scoring 2 goals in 3 minutes.
that was
So
insane. He played really well.
both really
Besides,
good goals.
yeah,
And I feel United definitely took advantage of the energy that they brought from the first couple minutes and kept going on because a lot of teams could have scored those 2 goals in the first 2 minutes and then just sat back or just don't keep that same energy. But they were able to grab another 4 goals by the end of the game and then won 6-2. Now, I feel like this brings up the big question about how a lot of people have been talking about whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right manager for Man United, but obviously we look at the Champions League as a failure considering he didn't pass the group stage. But if we look at the United team right now in the Premier League, they're in third place. They're 5 points behind first place Liverpool with a game in hand. So winning that game in hand, and they're only 2 points off the leader. So I feel like the question right now is: are we considering this season successful for United, or is it still a question of whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right manager or not?
I mean, I think we'll see that. I think we'll see it later in the season. Let's see how they do in Europa League, and see how they continue to do in the Prem because they've just been inconsistent overall. Like they play like garbage against Istanbul. In Istanbul in the Champions League, lose to them. Then they beat a team like PSG in the Champions League, and then they play like this, scoring 2 goals in 3 minutes. Like props to McTominay score like playing absolutely amazing, being the heart of that team for this game. But they play like this and beat Leeds by that many goals. Like Leeds is a good team, and not a lot of teams score that many over Leeds. Everton didn't score against Leeds. City only scored one against them, and teams have struggled against them. To be fair, so like I think we have to wait until later in the season because every team's been inconsistent. Honestly, at this point in the season, usually someone is farther out ahead, or at least two teams are higher up on points within 14 games. It's not, yeah, so it's not just like almost a 2-to-1 ratio like it is right now. So it's really close. It's a really weird table this year. And Everybody likes to talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and say, well, like, is he the right manager? Or, like, is he messing up or is he doing something wrong? But at times, of course, like, there's no doubt about it if you look at some of the games they've lost. But then they play like this, and you think, okay, if they keep this up, it's considered successful. So I don't think it's fair to judge just yet. I think we need to just wait and see.
Yeah, definitely wait and see, especially Europa League performance. I know they have Real Sociedad, who's been really good in La Liga this year.
Yeah,
So that's going to be a fun
they're
Europa
definitely
League match to watch. And I think that United have the capability of continuing this form. I don't know if they have the capability of winning the league, but that's only time can tell for that. And next we have Aston Villa versus West Brom. Aston Villa looked good against West Brom. Um, the only thing is that now West Brom with their new manager, they didn't really seem like up for the task. Um, I feel like bringing in a new manager, I don't know if that was the right thing to do at this point. I feel like Slaven Bilic was doing as good as he could, considering that they didn't really invest too much into the squad. But
yeah.
yeah, no, I think Aston Villa has been good this year. They're only 4 points off the top four with 2 games in hand, so this could go in either direction. But now we'll just wait and see if they continue this form that they're in right now.
Yeah, I mean, they did look great this game, and overall, like, as a team, they played really well. They have 2 games in hand, and if they'll be probably in that top 4 depending on goal differential. If they were to maybe draw 1, win 1, or win both, I'm not exactly sure what the stats are. It's probably win both, which would put them on, 28, but that would put them up there, and they've played really well, and they've been, um, like, delightfully shocking this season because you just didn't expect that from them. Me personally, in my Premier League predictions this year, I had them probably in relegation, probably in 18th, considering they just stayed up last year.
Yeah,
So I'd love to see them keep going like this. As for West Brom, I really don't know what the purpose of bringing in a new manager was. Right after they tied City, like, I know they parked the bus for the last 20 minutes of the game and didn't play well, but with the players you have, there's only so much you can do. So
yeah, well, so much.
I don't really know what they thought they were going to get out of that. Um, they were going to lose to Villa either way, as long as Villa played well, which you can expect that on most occasions, especially against a weaker team like West Brom with a creator like Jack Grealish and who do they have up top? Who's El Ghazi, right? He can
Yeah, and they have
and
Watkins.
Watkins and Trezeguet, all of them.
Yeah,
Up top.
they have a plethora of attacking
Right,
options.
they
Yeah,
have a lot of talented attackers. So against a team
yeah.
like West Brom, they're always going to take advantage, no matter who's managing. So
I think the question now is if Aston Villa has the capability of continuing this form on for the rest of the season. But that's something that we can only time can tell. And we can only see in the future. But for our next match, we have the first of our 2 Monday matches that were there. Burnley versus Wolves. Wolves, I don't know. They've been kind of
they've been kind of
meh.
shaky. They haven't
Yeah,
and today, not today, yesterday, at the time of recording, they were really shaky. Like defensively, they were just they were just falling apart. In the midfield, they would try to play it out of the back, and Ruben Neves would get caught right in the middle of the field and just not have anywhere to go. And
yeah,
the Burnley players would just converge on him, and they would just come in on him and attack from there. And I'm pretty sure they scored off of one of them, so or off of a play like a corner next to it. So that happened after the play. So like they played really well. Like on despite having 36% possession, obviously Wolves 64, they always attack. Like they were always attacking Wolves. They were always pressing that ball even when they didn't have it. They weren't lazy for that whole game. They got their goals. They were kind of scrappy goals, but you can't deny that they played really well and that they deserved it.
yeah. Burnley. I feel like they took advantage of the Wolves team that they're playing right now. I feel like this is the perfect time to play Wolves. They're shaky. They're without their best striker. I feel like Burnley just took advantage of the moment, played well against a team that hasn't been playing too well, and were able to grab 2 goals throughout the game. I know Wolves' goal was like in the last minute.
Yeah, it was a
So
penalty.
pretty much, a 2-0 throughout. So that good performance from Burnley. They definitely needed it, and I feel like Wolves needs to do something, or they might see themselves continuing to drop down the table. And for our last match, Chelsea versus West Ham. Yeah, both teams looked good in the beginning, but West Ham could not keep up with Chelsea's play. Chelsea could have been more clinical, but that didn't really matter much. They were able to grab 3 goals throughout the game. Chelsea's on 25 points right now, fifth place, 6 points off. Um, I feel like right now is like the testing period for Chelsea. We're gonna really see how good they really are in these next couple games. If they're really gonna be challenging for the title, or if they're just gonna be challenging for fourth or fifth place. They have a good squad. They're capable of doing so, but I feel like the manager, I don't know. I feel like that's the question mark right now, whether Lampard is able to take them to the next level.
Yeah, I honestly think he'll be able to take them to the next level, possibly even winning a title again after winning it. I think it was 2017-18, but or 2016-17. But um, they they've been playing really well this season. Sometimes they've been a little shaky, so I would say a little bit inconsistent for them, but not too much apparently because they're 25 points and they're only 6 points off top. But every team's had their struggles on picking up points and dropping points this season, and they have the squad to do it. I do think Lampard can take them to the next level, but not this season. I think they'll finish about fourth, fifth this season. I think that's fair to say. But this is a rebuilding year for them. I mean, they, I know they brought in some amazing talent in Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, who they have at left back. I forget.
Chilwell.
Yeah, Ben Chilwell, Ziyech, Thiago Silva. It's almost a completely new team. And with the players they have with Conte in that midfield, and even Jorginho, who's been playing really well actually. Um, Almost surprising because you haven't seen him do much in a while, but
Mhm.
um, they do have the talent to go to the next level, especially with the amount of clean sheets they've kept, especially against Tottenham. That was a big one, even though Tottenham doesn't go forward in those games, just the way Mourinho plays. But Chelsea do look good. Next season, I would say they'd be more of a title contender. This season, definitely a top 4 or 5 contender. But they've played really well. You can't take away from how solid they've been, especially defensively with Thiago Silva in there.
Yeah, for sure. Chelsea's capable of a lot now. Um, if it's this season, maybe not, but definitely in the next coming years, they could definitely be up there to try and get a Premier League title. But that pretty much wraps it up for our match week review. It's been a good week of soccer for the Premier League. The midweek is off, and then we're back. Actually, during the week we'll be back with an English football league
Yeah, EFL Cup
review of the League Cup semifinals or quarterfinals.
quarterfinals. Yeah,
League Cup quarterfinals. We'll be back talking about that. But Premier League content will be back next week.
or
We just
later.
want to say
I think
thank
later this week.
you.
We got Boxing Day, right?
Yeah, we got a Boxing Day preview, so we're gonna have that back. We're gonna have that for everyone. So we want to say thank you for anyone who's watched, and stay tuned in because we have a lot of good content coming up in the next couple weeks. So we appreciate all of you guys.
Yeah, we
All
really
right.
appreciate it. Lots coming up. Very exciting times. Please keep tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy it.